Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley, and today's video is going to be all about my Mirena IUD experience. So if you are interested in hearing what I think about it and my experiences with it, then just keep on watching. I just want to apologize real quick that if you can hear my children in the background, I'm sorry. They're trying to go to bed so I can do this video, but they're both still awake. I can hear Lily talking in her crib. I have the little brochure here so I can give you some technical descriptions. So what is Mirena? It is a hormone releasing IUD and it is placed into your uterus to prevent pregnancy. Now, a little bit about why I decided to get it. I have been on plenty of other types of birth control in the past. I've been on the pills, and the problem with that is that I've always forgotten to take them. And then I've also been on the patch, which I liked it, but I still had, fairly heavy periods, and sometimes I would forget to change the patch Sunday was the day that I would do it. I'd forget to change the patch. I haven't tried the shot, but I have tried the NuvaRing, and I did not like that at all. So I wanted to try the IUD. The reason I chose it is because that it's one of the most highly effective, and I don't have to do anything. Now, up until probably like 3 months ago, I have always been really against getting an IUD, and I don't really know why. Just the concept of this foreign device inside my uterus freaked me out, and I didn't like that if I didn't like it, I couldn't just take it out myself or stop taking it or something along those lines. But I don't know, something I guess just clicked over the last 3 months, and I really don't want to have another child. I already have 2. I mean, they're a handful. I love them. In the future, I'd like to become a foster parent, so that would also kind of push back the timeline to do that. But whatever, getting off topic. So how it works is it is this little tiny plastic device. I'll try to show you right there. And the strings that are attached to it that come out of your cervix are kind of like fishing wires. They're not pokey whatsoever. And how it works is that it inhibits the sperm from reaching and fertilizing the egg. And it also thins the lining of your uterus, and it thickens your cervical mucus to prevent sperm from entering the uterus. And this is how it's placed inside. If you guys can see that. So it just hangs out there in your uterus. So the Mirena lasts for up to 5 years, and it is recommended for people who have already had a child. I know that they now have Skyla for people who have not had a child. I'm not really too sure what the difference is. I've heard that Skyla is smaller and it only lasts for 3 years, but don't quote me on that. And now it does not prevent against STDs or any type of sexually transmitted infections. So it is recommended that you do still wear a condom if you are not in a monogamous relationship, and make sure that you can trust your partner, all that stuff if you do not use a condom. Now it is 99% effective, and it does last up to 5 years, like I mentioned before. So for me personally, that was also another big, deciding factor of why I wanted to get the Mirena, because like I said, I don't want any more kids right now. At least, like I said, that's how I feel right now. So 5 years is perfect, and you can always get it removed if you change your mind. Okay, so now a little bit about my experience, since I gave you a little bit of background on what the Mirena is, if you didn't know. When I called to make my appointment, the receptionist that I talked to said my first appointment, it would be just talking to the doctor about other options, or if I wanted that, they would order it, and then I'd have to come back and get it placed. So when I went there for my first appointment, I just assumed we'd talk about it. If I agreed that that's what I wanted to do, that's the route I wanted to go, then we would make another appointment to get it placed. Well, that was actually not the case. I talked to my doctor about it, and then, obviously that's what we decided on. And she said, okay, well, do you want to get it placed today? And I was not ready for that. I wasn't mentally prepared. I don't know about you, but if I'm going into an appointment or a procedure, I want to know ahead of time what's going to happen. But it was actually the first day of my period, so I mentioned that to the doctor, and she goes, actually that's perfect because apparently that is what they recommend because your cervix is a little bit dilated and it's easier for them to put it in. So I was like, I don't really know if you want to be shoving things around there while I'm bleeding. But this is actually the same doctor who delivered my son, and she saw a child come out of my vagina, so I'm not going to be scared of a little bit of blood. Now, it does hurt a little bit. If you've had a pap smear, it does kind of feel like that. They do have to use those little beakers to open you up, and then they take this huge long thing with the Mirena on the end and gently put it up into your uterus, release it, all that stuff. And it does feel like a little pinch. They do sanitize you, not sanitize, they do sterilize everything in there before they put the Mirena in. So that part is also a little uncomfortable because it's like a huge cotton swab. But you know, it's just to make sure you don't get any infections when they're placing it in. So that does pinch a little bit, but it is not nearly as painful as giving birth. So I would choose Mirena over having another baby. Now, some of the side effects that they did not tell me that I experienced is I had a major headache for probably like 3 or 4 days after the procedure. And I also was very dizzy for probably like a week on and off after I got the Mirena. And I was not expecting that because my doctor just told me it would be spotting and some cramping, but just to take some Tylenol or ibuprofen and that should help it go away. So when I first got up from laying on the little bed, I was so dizzy, like I felt terrible. And like I said, I had no idea what was going on. So I checked out with the receptionist, made an appointment for my 6-week string checks, which I will get to in just a minute. But I walked to the car and thankfully my boyfriend was actually waiting for me. So I did not have to drive, but I felt terrible. And the cramps that I got afterwards were like beginning stages of labor cramps. It was that bad. And that probably happened for probably the first month that I had it, just cramps off and on. They were really only intense for I'd say 3 days or so. About 3 or 4 weeks into it, I started to get a lot of pimples. Now, I don't know if it's just a coincidence or if the Mirena played a part of it, but I have not gotten a pimple since like high school, or maybe like 1 or 2 here, which is very rare. So I started breaking out like I was a teenager going through puberty. And like I said, I don't know if it was the Mirena or if my body was just going crazy because of the hormones or what. But thankfully that has started to taper off a little bit and I'm not getting as many pimples as I did before. Now, one of the things that Mirena can do is it can change your periods. If you're having very heavy periods, it can lighten them and eventually stop. Now, I got Mirena back in July and it is now October, so it has been about 3 months since I've gotten it. And my periods, for the most part, are just spotting, and they are definitely a lot lighter. Like, I just have to change my panty liner a couple times throughout the day, and that lasts for maybe 4 or 5 days, and it's done. So it is definitely a lot better, and I'm hoping next month that my period does eventually stop, because this month it was very, very light. Now, you can still use tampons when you have an IUD. You just have to be careful when you're pulling out the tampon that you don't pull a string with it. But like I said, it's been 3 months and I haven't had any issues. I don't even know that it's there. So honestly, my overall opinion, it has been really great for me. Minus the month where I was having the headaches, the dizziness, all that stuff. Now, it doesn't affect sex, at least it didn't for me. They say that your partner may be able to feel the strings, but thankfully we haven't had any problems in that area. Now, once you get the Mirena placed, you are supposed to come back 6 weeks later for a string check, just so that your doctor can make sure that everything is still in place. I mean, your body's accepting it. There's no infection, yada, yada, yada. Just a checkup to make sure everything's going good. So I had mine. I was actually supposed to go at the beginning of September, but things came up and I had to reschedule. And my doctor is a very busy woman. So because I had to cancel, my appointment got pushed back probably like another 5 weeks. So just, I think 2 weeks ago, I went for my string check. And again, they lay you on the table, open you up with that dang beaker, and just take a peek, make sure everything is well inside that area, make sure that your Mirena is still in place. And after a while, the strings will start to soften and kind of curl up next to your cervix, which is completely normal. And she said that is what mine are doing, and I don't have to come back until my yearly pap smear. So overall, I really do like it. I wish I would have gotten it sooner. I honestly wish I would have gotten it at my 6-week postpartum visit, but again, I was just too afraid, was not going to put a foreign object in my body, but I have made the decision that I don't really want any more kids. Like I said, at least that's how I feel now. So yeah, overall, it's really great for me. I've heard really bad horror stories about it. That has also contributed to why I didn't get it sooner. So yeah, if you're interested in Mirena, I would definitely talk to your doctor about it. I do recommend it. Like I said, everyone is different and not all birth controls are going to work for everyone. But yeah, that is my experience so far with the Mirena IUD. If I have any other updates or if something happens and I decide I don't like it, I will do an updated video just to let you guys know. But as of right now, I'm very happy that I got it. So, all right, well, that was all I had for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos. I will try my hardest to start posting more frequently. But yeah, so all right, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.